a good enough lead, he might actually be able to pull this off. We'll see.
He has a very comfortable lead at the moment, got the whole shot and has led all the way. This longer course is certainly a lot faster than the shorter one that they run on. They can get some pretty good speed out of these trucks.
And actually, it is an advantage for the two-wheel drives because those long straightaways, it doesn't take, you know, you've got to have some horsepower to get down those long straightaways, and that is an advantage for the two-wheel drive truck. All the sharp corners, that's where the four-wheel drives have a huge advantage.
Scott Taylor remains the leader here as he goes over one of the jumps. Meanwhile, we talked to Jason Baldwin a little bit earlier about his tough luck in this race.
Tell you what, you know, we've had some tough luck at this event, and I'm hoping that that's going to change, because we usually get around that first corner pretty good, and then it seems like, you know, within a couple laps, people are banging into us and we're getting taken out, or, you know, we have a mechanical problem and we're leading and we blow up a converter, or, you know, those are all the things that have been happening to us in the past. So I'm hoping this time we just have a good clean run and stay out of trouble in that first turn.
Well, everything was okay in the first turn. Meanwhile, we jump on board with Carl Renesetter, who is running in 5th place.
These guys in two-wheel drive trucks, they have a huge obstacle to overcome. So far, though, Renesetter's having a pretty good run. His other truck, his four-wheel drive truck, blew an engine earlier in the day, so he had to run his two-wheel drive instead. Not his first choice.
Pretty good battle going on here. Taylor continues to lead. Jason Baldwin is running second, and Scott Douglas, Josh Baldwin, and Kevin Prost, the top 5 at the moment.
Yeah, and the four-wheel drive trucks are catching these guys. They're trying to mingle their way through there, but still, it's very difficult, even with a four-wheel drive truck, to work the traffic. This is a tough place if you're hooked up and you're running good in a two-wheel drive truck.
Taylor still has a fairly comfortable lead at this time, but there's some good stuff going on behind him.
Here comes Josh Baldwin, and he's working all over the back of Scott Douglas right now. Remember, he's in a four-wheel drive truck, Douglas in a two-wheel drive truck, and here comes Kurt Leduc. He was started way in the back in that second row back there. He's come a long way. He's done a great job so far in this race.
Don't count Leduc out. He's moved up to 5th position. Meanwhile, we continue to focus on this battle for 3rd. That involves Scott Douglas and Josh Baldwin.
Yeah, Josh Baldwin having a heck of a time. There you see Jason Baldwin in 2nd place. What a lead he has on these two. But Josh Baldwin's trying everything. He's been inside. He's been outside. Now they go down this very long back straightaway. He'll try to outbreak him getting into this 180-degree corner down here.
This race got off to a very auspicious start. We had several trucks slide off course at the beginning of the race as we see Scott Taylor continuing to lead. Let's go back to the beginning of the race and take a look at some of the chaos that occurred in some of the four-wheel drive trucks that did get off course at the start. There's Johnny Greaves in the yellow truck, not making the corner and coming very close to making contact with the guardrail, and Evan Evans also had a problem. There's Dan Vandenheuvel. And Carl Renesetter went way up on the bank.
The track right jump is down the track a little ways.
And so it's Scott Taylor and Jason Baldwin here at Crandon. Chairman's Cup, we're on board with Ross Hook, one of the sportsman drivers, as we take a look up in the upper left of the leaders of the race. Scott Taylor is the leader, but Ross Hook on board there. Here is the battle between Scott Taylor and Jason Baldwin, and Baldwin is right there on the tailgate.
Well, we've talked about the advantage that he has, but Scotty Taylor's putting up one heck of a battle. This racetrack is almost perfect. I mean, it's not too wet, it's not too dry, so far, Scotty Taylor's been able to hang on there. And as long as he sticks to the inside, it's going to have to be a case where he just uses that brute force of that four-wheel drive to sneak underneath him and out-drag him off the corner.
So far, a two-wheel drive truck has led all the way, but he's being pressured by that four-wheel drive truck of Jason Baldwin. Let's see if he can get to the inside here.
Well, Scotty Taylor's at a disadvantage here. They get going very slow. And see right there, it's just brute horsepower. You can get underneath. You got four wheels driving off of that very slow corner. and it's just a huge advantage. Nothing Scotty Taylor could have done any way, shape, or form to hang on to the lead right there.
And Jason Baldwin takes the lead. Finally, a four-wheel drive truck is up front, but boy, a great battle there by Scott Taylor for a long distance of this race.
Hey, we're past the halfway mark, so he held on to that thing for a long, long time, and he's still got a whole bunch of those four-wheel drive guys behind him, including Josh Baldwin, who's right behind him right now.
Josh is closing in quickly. Kurt Leduc is right behind Josh, and then Carl Renesetter is running in 5th position.
Well, Jason got real wide down there in that corner. That's not something he wants to do very often, because if you leave the bottom open in that corner, you've got a good chance of getting past.
Now let's keep an eye on 2nd place there and see if Josh Baldwin can do what his brother did and take 2nd place from Taylor, as Kurt Leduc hangs right in there. Leduc is having a great race.
He's having a terrific race, and he had all kinds of engine trouble. He welded up the engine, did all sorts of things just to make this thing, and he's probably passed more trucks than anybody on the racetrack right now.
Looking at a battle for 2nd position. Baldwin gets to the inside and takes 2nd. So we have Jason Baldwin in the lead and Josh running 2nd.
Scotty Taylor hanging on to 3rd, but Kurt Leduc is all over him like a dirty shirt right now. And it's these very slow corners that the two-wheel drive trucks have trouble with, because four-wheels driving are just much better than two coming off those corners.
We talked about that great run that Kurt Leduc is having. More as we go down trackside. Here is Ken Stout.
Hey guys, what a great run here for Kurt Leduc. Literally welding up that motor before he came out for the Cup race. All excited that it actually started up. Now finds himself in 3rd place. It's a good run for the Skyjacker Ford.
Leduc hanging on in 4th position right now as the Baldwins are up front, and this is how Jason got the lead. And then this is how Josh got 2nd place.
Both very tight, slow corners that just use their four-wheel drive to their advantage.
Jason Baldwin stretches his lead just a little bit over his brother. Kurt Leduc, Scott Taylor, and Renesetter complete the top 5. Back at the FabTech Potawatomi Chairman's Cup at Crandon, Wisconsin. Bob Jenkins, Larry Rice, and Ken Stout with you. It's the brothers Baldwin running 1st and 2nd, and
wow,
man, oh man, Josh almost tipped it over.
Yeah, he got off course a little bit, never got out of the throttle, just kept on going. What a great job.
Kurt Leduc, Scott Taylor, and Carl Renesetter complete your top 5. The question right now is, can Josh catch his brother? And he's reeling him in right now as we go on board with Carl Renesetter in 5th position. Renesetter, the defending champion of this event.
Yeah, but he's driving his two-wheel drive truck. He blew the engine in his four-wheel drive this morning, so he couldn't drive it. I'm sure he's pretty disappointed, but doing a very credible job to be in the top 5.
There's Jason Baldwin. Maybe have stretched the lead here a little bit on his brother.
I can tell you there's a friendly rivalry between these two. They both want to win this race. Josh is going to give it everything he's got. He's going to get up there and try to put the pressure on Jason.
And we're coming up to the final lap of the race.
And look at that blue groove. You can see they didn't put a lot of water on there, just what Scotty Taylor wanted. But as a result, it is a little slick. They're on the final lap right now, but you don't want to get in that blue groove and get on the gas too hard.
Here's a replay of what happened to Josh Baldwin a little bit ago. Oh,
man, he just got off course. He was hard on the throttle, just got over the edge and went over that little hump. No harm, no foul, though. He just kept on going.
Jason Baldwin is the leader, and it looks like he could have a victory here in his back pocket. Got a couple of more corners to go, but right now looking very, very good.
Certainly is. Last corner, last lap. He's coming up there. Just got to get through here nice and smooth, not make any mistakes. Yellow flag is up. Oh, there's a lap truck that spun in front of him. They ran into each other. Josh Baldwin comes through, runs into him after he spins out.
And Josh is going to win it. Josh Baldwin wins after his brother spins in front of him within sight of a checkered flag, and there's Dad Jim Baldwin.
And I don't know whether he's happy or sad. I think he's both right now. Happy for one, sad for the other. I can guarantee you there's all kinds of emotion right there in that family.
And there's the friendly rivalry that you talked about. Baldwin wins in the last few feet. Kurt Leduc holds on for second, then Jason. Scott Taylor, Carl Renesetter complete your top 5. Wow, what a finish. Josh wins. Let's go to victory lane, Ken.
You know, I thought for sure my brother had it, and I was ready just to come in second, and unfortunately that truck was spun out, and he got up in traffic, and I was able to take advantage of that deal. It actually, I didn't really mean to do that. It just kind of happened.
Dude, you just won a huge race, man.
It was pretty awesome. I got to thank BF Goodrich. You know, without them, there's no way we could do this. And Filger Manufacturing, who does all our machine work, Ford Motor Company too. You know, they put up a big contingency for this race, and this is definitely going to go right up down the career. But my brother won it too. I mean, this was both of our race. We ran a good race, and you know, both these trucks are so evenly matched. It's just incredible. This is both of our races.
Hey, Jason,
man! Woo! This is both of ours, dude. This is both of ours.
That's truly brotherly love there. It has to be frustrating for you.
Hey, you know what? If I'm not going to win, it better be him, right? That was a great race. He drove a hell of a race. He was right there the whole time. My guys were telling me how far back he was, and he was right there the whole time. I couldn't shake him. We just had bad luck at the end, you know? That's the way it goes.
Well, a look now at the past champions. Josh adds his name to that list in an absolutely incredible finish to this event. We go back down to the winner's circle to talk with Kurt Leduc.
You were thrashing hard on that thing before the start of the race. What'd you have to weld up on that bad boy?
The oil galley was busted off the back of the block from this morning, and unbelievable. We welded it back up in the pits, in the car, put another flywheel on it. Thanks for Skyjacker. I mean, it's awesome to be here. I mean, I like to have won it. I can't believe those guys tangled up, but you know, I just didn't have anything for the Baldwins.
It was a 5th consecutive second-place finish for Leduc. Well, coming up, the Borgwarner Shootout, brought to you by FabTech. That and a prize package of $200,000 on the line. Couple of trucks on the parade lap here, and the drivers waving to the crowd as we go down to Larry Rice in turn 1.
We call turn number 1 at Crandon the most exciting turn number 1 in all of motorsports. That's only because it is. They start out 3/10 of a mile up there at the starting line. By the time they reach turn number 1, they're running 80 to 100 miles an hour. They start out 10, 15 trucks wide. It narrows down to only 4 or 5 trucks wide. And it's a blind corner. You can't see where you're going around the other side of that corner. And it's an off-camber corner. You slide out as you go through there. It banks the wrong way. And if you lift or hesitate, you're going to end up in 7th or 8th instead of 1st. That's why we call this the most exciting turn number 1 in all of motorsports.
You've convinced me. Larry, Johnny Greaves is the defending champion of this race. Notice that Scott Taylor also won this race in a 2-wheel drive truck in 2002. Well, the drivers have to qualify for this race, and we spoke earlier with several drivers about their qualifying strategy. This is a little different format than what they usually do, and the drivers had some interesting comments about it.
You want to be in that top 5. If you're not in that top 5, well, then you might as well just load it up.
When you push yourself to try to be the fastest overall, one little mistake, you're out of the top 5. So we're just going to be in the top 5.
But since the big tire went away, we don't have near the chance that we had before, back when I won it. And you know, we're going to try. All I can do is hope that you know, maybe they have a little bit of bad luck in Pro 4 and we had some good luck, and maybe we can win it again. You know, that's what it's going to take.
The Governor's Cup, I you know, got gathered up in the very last turn, leading the race. So hopefully we're going to have some luck on our side this time, and you know, hopefully we'll get on that podium.
I mean, we might not win, but I ain't going to make a mistake.
And here's a look at the way they qualified. Jason Baldwin with the fastest time in the qualifying.
Yeah, Johnny Greaves right up there. You're going to see some of these 4-wheel drive trucks really battling to catch those 2-wheel drive guys, because they do have an advantage by that 1,300-foot head start.
On down through Scott Douglas, who qualified in 20th position. Ben Wandasegas 22nd, and Mike Savage back in 25th. This field has the largest field of the year, probably, simply because there is so much money involved as we take a look at the starting grid.
Yeah, you see there the 2-wheel drive trucks that are going to start up front. They will have an advantage. That Johnny Greaves, Steve McCrossan, They're going to start on the inside of the racetrack. You got to choose your starting position according to where you qualified. They chose the inside. You're going to see a lot of the other guys, the Baldwin brothers and so forth, they chose clear to the outside of the racetrack. It's a longer distance, but much smoother than where Johnny Greaves is going to start.
Well, you remember what happened in the start of the Chairman's Cup race. We had a big mess down in turn 1 with several trucks getting off course. Let's hope we don't see that this time. On board with Steve Barlow up there in your upper left as the green flag flies, and away we go once again.
Yes, down into turn number 1 and through that, the two-wheel drive guys who got the starting advantage. It looks like Renazetter came off that. As you can see, everybody else just now getting into turn number 1, and there's a. You can see both of them, and look at this. It looks like Jason Baldwin and Johnny Greaves, door handle and door handle already.
They're through the corner still side by side as the two-wheel. Oh, and here's Josh Baldwin upside down.
Remember, he won the last big race, but he's not going to win this one upside down very early in this event.
Winner of the Chairman's Cup, and now he ends up on his roof very early here in the Borgwarner race. Carl Renazetter leads, Vandenheuvel running second, followed by Scott Taylor. Here's a replay now from Huseman's onboard camera.
Okay, they're up here in this part of the course. They just gone over the jump into this big left-hander. He had a little contact, nosed into that bank, and the bank just stopped him and turned him over. Tough break for him.
Yes, it is.
Oh, we got one of the trucks in the back. Looks like he spun out. As you can see, everybody trying to get through that corner down there. There's a little bit of water on the racetrack. This is their first lap around, so they're having to be a little bit careful. Obviously, somebody not quite careful enough.
Carl Renazetter continues to lead this race. The top three running very, very close to each other. That's Renazetter, Vandenheuvel, and Taylor. Todd LeDuc running in fourth position at the moment, followed by Johnny Greaves in championship off-road racing here at Crandon, Wisconsin. We're on board with Scott Taylor, who's in third place. That's Johnny Greaves in back of him right there. The leader of the race is Carl Renazetter, and Vandenheuvel is running in second spot. We talked to Scott Taylor a little bit earlier about the track here at Crandon, Wisconsin.
The track apparently right now is pretty hard, and it'll start breaking up and the cushion will start going out a little bit. So, you know, that's a further way around the track if you're going to the outside of it, all the way to the cushion. It just all depends how well the track holds up. They were out here watering after dark last night, so moisture went down, which will keep it from breaking away on the top.
He continues to hang on to third. There's first and second, Renazetter and Vandenheuvel. And behind them, the good battle between Taylor and Greaves, as Greaves is all over him, and Taylor a little bit out of shape, and that may have been enough indeed. Greaves takes third place.
Yeah, he just got too low in that corner. He got out of shape, moved it way to the outside. That gave Greaves all the opening that he needed.
Johnny Greaves in that yellow truck has had a great season so far, and he is on the move. Now he's up to Vandenheuvel and giving him all he can ask for. Oh, very close to passing him there going into that corner. Let's see if he can get it done coming out of the corner.
Well, he's the first four-wheel drive truck to make it through. Rick Huseman's back there, a couple of trucks behind him. Look at this. He just goes to the outside, buries that thing in that heavy dirt out there, and just motored on by. That was a terrific corner by Johnny Greaves.
So he moves up to second position now and sets his sights on the leader, Carl Renazetter, and he is closing in quickly on him.
Yeah, he certainly is, and that's something that you can do with a four-wheel drive truck. Much more difficult to do with a two-wheel drive truck.
Johnny Greaves chasing Renazetter. We talked to Johnny earlier about his victory here in the Borgwarner Shootout last year.
Oh, that was, you know, by far the biggest accomplishment we've had. You know, for the truck, the crew, you know, the sponsors. I mean, that's the race to win. That's the Indy 500 of off-road, and you know, I think you probably get more press and ink out of that one race than you do winning a championship.
Johnny Greaves is hammered down, looking for the lead. He pulls up right behind Renazetter. Let's see what happens here and see if he can indeed grab the advantage. Johnny Greaves from De Pere, Wisconsin, 39 years of age. He's almost alongside and now goes to the inside. Can't pass him.
You know, he didn't even say anything about the money. There's tons and tons of money up here, too. But look at this. He is on the hunt. This is his home track. This is where his sponsor is from. A lot of pride, a lot of gratitude. He comes out here and practices a lot. He knows this track as well as anybody here, and he's not going to give up this victory easily.
This is off-road racing at its best with two of the best drivers in the series, Renazetter and Greaves. Greaves just trying everything he can to get around Renazetter in the two-wheel drive truck, and here he's going to do it to the inside, off the corner, and Greaves takes the lead.
This corner is a huge advantage for the four-wheel drives. It's such a slow corner. You come down and you make a U-turn virtually, and when you come off that corner, your speed is so slow. When you got all four of those wheels driving, it just helps you so much.
So now Greaves the leader, Renazetter second, Vanden Heuvel still running in the third position.
Man, look at that. Renazetter just doesn't give up. Wow.
Jason Baldwin running back in fifth position. Taylor is in fourth.
Well, we talked about the advantage he had coming off that corner, but Renazetter just kept coming back. Now he's got the inside right there. He just can't pull it off, though. That two-wheel drive truck just doesn't have enough oomph off the corners.
Greaves stretches out the advantage just a little bit on Carl. Again, Vanden Heuvel, Taylor, and Baldwin complete your top five. That would be Jason Baldwin, as Josh, you'll recall, got on his lid at the start of the race.
And Jason Baldwin is the next four-wheel drive truck in that lineup, so he's moving his way up there. He hopes that he can make his way through. Oh, look at this. Kurt Leduc is off course.
Leduc in that Skyjacker truck off course. Greaves continues to lead, pulling out an advantage here over Renazetter. Looking back, let's take a second view of how Greaves was able to move around second place and then take the lead.
Boy, he just went to the outside. That was an impressive corner right there. This time he just kind of muscled his way to the inside of Renazetter and got the lead. But boy, when he went into second place, that was a powerful move. Jason Baldwin right there as he gets around Scotty Taylor. Another nice move on the inside.
Greaves, Renazetter, Vanden Heuvel, Borgwarner shootout. No points involved, but a lot of money. And the leader right now is Johnny Greaves, followed by Carl Renazetter, then Vanden Heuvel, Baldwin, and Taylor.
Yeah, Jason Baldwin right now making a big move in his battle for third, trying to get around Vanden Heuvel. Vanden Heuvel having a great run, really. That's a two-wheel drive truck. He's hung on to that third position for a long, long time.
Vanden Heuvel is in white. Baldwin is in the orange truck. They are wheel to wheel and side by side. Still Vanden Heuvel with the advantage, but does he have the advantage now? Yep, he holds off the challenge of Jason.
Yeah, as long as he can stick to the inside, it makes it very difficult for Jason to get around him. Jason tries to get to the inside on every corner like he does right there. That time he pulls it off. Vanden Heuvel got a little wide with that extra two-wheel drive pulling. He just went on by.
So move Jason up to the third position now. We talked to Jason Baldwin a little bit earlier as he works his way through the field about the importance of qualifying for this Borgwarner event.
Top five, though, it's real important, I think, because, you know, once you get past that, then you know, the pickings get to be kind of slim. So it's real important here to either start on the very inside or on the, you know, toward the outside. In the middle, it's no good here. Bumps are too big.
And Johnny Greaves continues to lead here in this race and has things pretty much to himself at the moment. No threat behind him. He's pulled out to a pretty good advantage on the second place truck of Renazetter.
He's having a nice run. Remember, this is a straight stick truck. Oh!
Whoa!
That's Bob Gershmiel spun in front of a lap truck, and he runs into it.
There goes Renazetter to the inside to the lead, and Baldwin to second position. This is very reminiscent of the chairman's race in which Jason Baldwin ran into a spun truck and lost that race.
In exactly the same corner. Johnny Greaves, what a terrible, terrible break. He just saw 200 grand fly out the window.
That's unbelievable. Here's Carl Renazetter in the lead. We ask him what a Borgwarner win would mean to him.
It's a bigger deal than I think most people realize until you actually do win it. It's a big race. It's probably one of the, you know, in off-road, it's probably one of the biggest. You know, there's Baja 1000, and I'd have to say Borgwarner is right up there with that. It has a lot of publicity with it, and just carries. It's a tough race to win. I mean, a lot of people are out there going 100%, giving all they can. And there's no points. It's just the first guy crosses the finish line wins, and there's a lot of people that really want that.
Well, he has the lead right now, but not by much.
Remember, he's in a two-wheel drive truck. He blew the engine in his four-wheel drive truck. He's doing one heck of a job to hold off these guys, but Jason Baldwin is on the hunt. He's not going to give it to him easy.
No question about it. They, again, are very close side by side at times. And the yellow is being shown in that particular portion of the racetrack, and it's probably for, yep, Johnny Greaves, whose truck is being towed off the racetrack after he had taken the lead and appeared to be on his way to victory. Now we continue to watch Jason Baldwin chasing Renizenter and trying everything he can to get by, but just so far has not been able to. They're your top 5.
And Renizenter so far has driven an absolutely flawless race, no mistakes. Now we're on board with Art Schmidt and that Nissan Titan. This is the first time that they've run this truck. He's doing a very credible job. They're preparing this truck to run a full season next year. Nissan has high hopes for this truck in the two-wheel drive division next year.
Art Schmidt on board here. Looking back, let's take another look at Jason Baldwin and how he has threaded his way through the traffic. And here is Greaves in trouble, eliminating him from competition as we see Renizenter and Baldwin both go inside to take the advantage away from Greaves. So it's Renizenter Shootout, sponsored by FabTech. Carl Renizenter still leads. Jason Baldwin is still right there. And Larry, every turn you think that Baldwin is going to be able to get by him, but Carl has just done a tremendous job of holding him off.
Baldwin has been inside, he's been outside, he's been everywhere trying to make,
oh,
now
there
he gets the inside. He goes past him on the inside. Renizenter tries to pull him off the corner, not going to do it with that two-wheel drive truck. So Jason Baldwin finally, after following and trying everything, finally finds a way to get around.
Wow, an impressive run by Jason Baldwin. Remember, Josh Baldwin, his brother, won the Chairman's Cup, and now Jason has taken the lead from Carl Renizenter here in the late going of the Borgwarner Shootout. They're your top 5. Vandenheuvel continuing to run 3rd, and Taylor continues to run 4th. And Renizenter is staying right with him, but it's going to be just very, very difficult unless Baldwin makes a mistake for him to get around.
Well, we know anything can happen.
Right.
I mean, it's not over until it's over. Well, yellow flag is out, so they got to slow down, maintain their position.
Oh my gosh, that's Rick Huseman, and he has gotten over on his top.
Wow, he got upside down big time. There was debris everywhere. Now that they're back in the area on the final lap where they can pass again, and Renizenter, he's going to try to pull a rabbit out of his hat. I don't know whether he can do it or not.
Well, Jason Baldwin is going to try to stave off the challenge of Carl Renizenter. These two have put on a tremendous show. Here's a replay on board of Rick Huseman when he got in trouble.
It's the track right jump. He gets that thing over, and he gets the nose down. The nose dives in. He just does an endo. Man, oh man, the one thing you want to do is make sure the rear wheels hit before the front wheels. He didn't do that. Man, when that thing dug in, it went over hard.
And you know you're in trouble when you see brown, blue, brown, blue.
That's exactly right.
Jason Baldwin is the leader on the final lap here of the Borgwarner Shootout.
Well, these guys have been battling hard. Renizenter's not going to give up easy, but he's got a lot of ground to make up if he wants to win this race.
It's been an afternoon of Baldwins. As Josh took the Chairman's Cup, Jason en route to the Borgwarner Shootout. There's a checkered flag, and he does it. Well, Jason Baldwin wins it.
I'm sure he feels like this is justification after he lost the last one on the last lap. He should have won this one.
The FabTech Borwarner Trophy goes to Jason Baldwin, Renizenter, Vandenheuvel, Taylor, and Mike Oberg finish in the top 5. Well, it's been a good race as we go down to the FabTech winner's circle with our winner.
Very excited, Jason Baldwin will add his name to the list of only 8 people to have ever won this deal. Congratulations, you've won championships. You've done pretty much everything you can do in this industry, and you finally get the big win here. This is the one you were looking for, baby, $125,000 Borgwarner Cup.
I'll tell you what, we have tried so hard to get this cup, and it feels so good to be here. We've been so close so many times, but to actually have it, to come from behind like that after getting hooked up with Johnny was just, I'm pretty emotional right now. It's unreal, and I want to just thank my crew.
You won a big one here, brother. That's a good one on the resume.
I want to thank Borgwarner again for putting on a hell of a race.
And then you had to get past your brother-in-law with a Pro 2 truck. Man, he put up a fight.
I'll tell you, Carl can drive. Everybody, Carl Rennezetter, he's the man. It was unbelievable to hang out in front of us for that long in a Pro 2.
Jump in here, Carl. Fabulous run, man.
Yeah. Did I show you that move?
I think so.
What's up with that? You're not supposed to use that stuff against me.
I think so.
Great run, Carl. You know, Johnny got out there and unfortunately got caught up with some lap traffic. That opened up the door for you to get back out in front. And boy, did you put up a fight with this guy.
Yeah, I know. I was actually surprised. My truck was doing pretty good, but you know, this is a tough race and you just got to go for it. And that's what everybody was doing.
Well, let's take a look at our Skyjacker shocks in this particular case of the race.
Well, the Chairman's Cup race, it was Jason Baldwin who got stopped, and Josh Baldwin who came through and ramrodded his way through to victory while Jason tried to get running in the last corner of the last lap to win that race. The other one, Johnny Greaves, leading this race, looking like he had a victory. Again, a lap truck got in the way. He had contact. Rennezetter gets by. Jason Baldwin gets by. Greaves goes to the sideline.
Jason Baldwin died on November 19th when his light airplane crashed 3 miles off Dana Point, California, while returning from competing in the Baja 1000. Jason was an awesome competitor and a caring man who affected the lives of many people. Thank you, Jason. We miss you.